Today we're going to be talking about the Molle panels for the 3rd gen Tundra. So if you have a 2022 and newer Toyota Tundra, this video is going to be for you, especially if you have an open bed like this Tundra here. This is going to be pretty handy for you for pretty much daily use or even weekend warrior stuff. Now what I'm going to be talking about in this video are these Molle panels here. They obviously come for both sides, and then you can mount all these accessories in there. So let's take a look at what we have going on here and talk about this setup. So this setup here is made by Rago Fabrication. We've been working with them for years now, and they make amazing stuff. So obviously we already have both sides installed, so this is not going to be an install video. It is pretty straightforward. It ties into your factory cargo rails here, but the cool thing is that it sits underneath, so that way you can fully use the factory cargo rails for pretty much anything you want, including a camper, bed rack, or anything. But the reason why I say this is really good for if you have an open bed setup like this Tundra is because you can reach over and grab whatever you need on the inside from the side of your truck. Now obviously if you have 35-inch tires or larger, that's going to be a little bit difficult if you're shorter. I'm about 5'9", 5'10", so reaching over with 35-inch tires is not too bad. Obviously, this guy here, the high lift, that might be a struggle. I will have to either get in the bed or climb on the tire for that one. But what I really like, especially for something big and heavy like this, is that it is off the floor. So looking straight down here, it hovers right above that passenger side wheel well really well, so that way it stays off the ground, it's secure, it's quiet, and it's not going anywhere. There are bracketry that you can get from Rago Fabrication. This one specifically is for a roto packs. For those who don't know what that is, they make water and fuel cans. So this one is going to be a water can. They have water cans in several different colors now, so it's just not white. You can have them in, I think, OD green and blue and stuff like that too. So before it was just white, red, and then the yellow for diesel. Now they have pretty much, well, not every color, but a lot of different colors for several different fuel and water cans, just because people can really match their truck or have it so it doesn't stand out as much, because sometimes the red does pop too much for some people. But let's go over a couple things here that you can mount onto these guys. Since they are Molle panels, you can pretty much put anything you want to them. So if you use your rig for work stuff, blue collar contractor stuff, obviously you can mount that kind of stuff to this. If you're a Overlander, weekend warrior, off-roader, obviously high lift jack is very handy, even though they are a little bit scary to use. If you know how to use them, they are not too bad, but yes, they can get a little bit finicky. Now let's go over some stuff that we have here. So what we have in these, some Rotopax mounts. The high lift mount is already installed, and it does bring it a little bit away from the panels, so that way it's not touching the panels, it doesn't rub away the powder coat, and it's not going to make any noise. Even though it's in the bed, you can still hear some of the stuff going on in the bed. Now they have taken into account of the accessories that you have in here. So the AC outlet right there, you got your bed light right there, so they've made cutouts for those to accommodate for those, so that way you're not losing those features of your Tundra. Same goes for this side and the front and the back of these are notched, so that way you can still fully use your tie down points to strap anything down you want in the bed. Now here's a couple things that I've got as well. I've got some quick fist mounts. Now these are very cheap and useful mounts, but Rago has made them even better. They've made these mounts that way you can attach to the bottom of them, and they make these a little bit more rigid, and installing on these is a little bit better. Now one thing Rago is known for is providing some of these candies. So it's pretty cool. It's a nice little treat for those who like candy. So they'll come, you can either eat it or give you to your kids or friends or whatever. Now this on top here, for those who don't know, these are Molle mounts is what we call them. These are the R14 Molle mounts. These are our mounts. Now I'm going to take one of these out and show you exactly what they do. So once again, this is the Molle mount. There is a little step lip on there, and that's to accommodate the thickness of the Molle panel. Now how you use this is, it's going to be a little hard because I'm going to be blocking the video, but you kind of understand what I'm trying to do. Just like that. Now it's in the hole. There is a little bit of left and right movement, so you can fine tune whatever you're mounting. Now let me show you what it's like to install it with just a standard bolt. So I got a washer on there. Now let's put it over here. So what you'll do is with your nut, how are you going to get the nut all the way over here easily? So this is where the ease of the Molle mount come in, because they just stick right to the Molle panels, and you don't really have to fish, and you're gonna drop the nut a lot. So this is really the easiest way. You can just feed it in, and then they just lock into place like that. Now you can mount pretty much anything you want and pretty much anywhere without using one of the pre-drilled holes. You have a little bit more space with these square holes to pretty much put it anywhere you want. So what we have installed here is a standard 2-gallon Rotopax mount. This is the water tank that I mentioned earlier. We did use the Molle mounts, the R14 Molle mounts, to mount this, and the reason for it is because I wanted this to sit basically on the bed. That way it supports it and doesn't really hang, because all this water is a lot to kind of hang. Even though I trust the Rago Fabrication Molle mounts to be strong and all that stuff, all that weight just gets transferred and just eats away at the metal and slowly just deteriorates it over time. So I want to prolong these parts for as long as possible. So to do that, put this all the way down, and the Molle mounts allowed me to do that. If I used the holes, it would be above the bed floor about an inch or so, which is still great, but I think this was the way to go. And next to that, we have the Gerber axe. This one we use just a standard quick fist mounts directly to the Molle panel, using 2 of our Molle mounts. Just went straight through the quick fist. They have a single hole, and since the axe is a flat piece, we didn't need anything to really raise it. Now the Crazy Beaver, which we have right here, this one is using the Rago Fabrication quick fist mount, and the reason why we use that for the shovel is because the shovel head, the spade, it is lower than the actual pole itself. And the reason why we use the Rago quick fist combination is because it raises it off the Molle mount. And like I said before, I didn't want things to be wearing away at the parts. So to prolong the life of the Molle panels from getting scratched up from the spade head, I used the Rago Fabrication quick fist with their metal brackets to kind of raise that. So you can see here, the amount of space to have even all the way back here to the behind the spade head. Now, this is kind of the perfect combination. So I could reach over from the bedside here, undo this, and then pull my shovel off pretty quickly. The axe is a little bit deeper. I would have to get on the tire to do that. And then this obviously just reach from the bed.